Hello YouTube, Miyazaki Man Sai here, Liverpool fan in Japan. We're going to go through the tactics of Liverpool versus Manchester United at Anfield. I've been told this series is very popular. You like the strategic insight that I have to offer. This is going to be a very fascinating game. Now, I boldly predicted in the last two videos 4-0 to Liverpool. A lot of people have come back to me and said don't have a false sense of security, you know. Let's take it one game at a time. Let's make sure we get the win and the points. But I'm going to give you some tactical insight as to why I think with the personnel available in this particular match, we have all of the attributes, weapons and tactical advantages to possibly not just get the win, but make a statement. Now here we go. I've already got the tactical board here on the right hand side. Now what I'm imagining here is this setup. Solid 4 as you'd expect. Legendo number 6. It could potentially be Curtis Jones. It doesn't really matter. But Endo will fulfill the function I want. The key component to this is obviously Gakpo, left-sided at 8. Now that's a brave call. It could be Curtis Jones here. It could very much be Gravenberch. That's probably the only position up for grabs at the moment. That's definitely cemented. Salah, Szoboszlai, Luis Diaz and Darwin Nunez as well. Very likely. I know last season we played Nunez and Gakpo together, and I think we'll go for it again this particular match. Now the reason why I'm particularly confident in this particular score is the personnel available. What we should do, the number one primary function, and I'm going to give it away straight away, is we need to isolate Wan-Bissaka by giving him the ball. Crystal Palace did something similar with Kostas Tsimikas, and the reason behind this is that right hand flank will likely be Wan-Bissaka and Antony. Now let's just put them on the field here, okay? So let's put Antony. Good old Antony. What a bargain. Nearly 100 million euros or something. Let's put Wan-Bissaka. Okay, so what we can do is we can close off the channels to the inside and make sure nothing can go inside and in and around. Nunez blocking the ball back to Onana. Salah blocking the switch over. Allowing Wan-Bissaka. Onana will chip the ball out to Wan-Bissaka. Antony is down the line. Antony's available. Block the inside route. Let them play together, okay? So, if the ball transitions to Antony, he's only looking to do one thing. Antony never goes around the outside. He just doesn't do it. A lot of players in this position, left-footed, right forward, they're looking to cut inside and shoot, okay? So, okay. He will progress it here. Other players will make runs to try and drag our defenders out of place. We let Wan-Bissaka progress with the ball. The obvious out is out to Wan-Bissaka, taking it down the line. We have Lucho, close the space. Ball goes back to Wan-Bissaka. Antony is in around the area because as long as we don't give him the opportunity to shoot, and even if he does shoot, it's going far corner anyway, so Alisson can anticipate that. But if we can give Wan-Bissaka the ball, he's probably the weakest ball player in their team by far. He's great as an athlete, great physical prowess, great 1v1 defending, great on the floor slide tackling as well. He's pretty decent on the run back as well, 1v1, but on the ball, he hasn't got many options apart from a driven cross low or driven cross. I always remember the Ali Sissoko cross, you know, he just hit and hope. Suarez made an amazing goal out of it. Header from the edge of the area, the power that Suarez got in the head. Suarez, what a beast, what an animal. Anyway, get Wan-Bissaka the ball, and then what you're looking to do is close the space in and around Wan-Bissaka and trap him. And as soon as you set this up right, Konate steps in the space to deny anything coming through the middle to nice, which is Wan-Bissaka won't have the option back, or hopefully not an out. If we turn over the ball and Wan-Bissaka turns over the ball in this area, you're going to have Trent in this position, Szoboszlai in this position, Salah in a kind of half space, and what we're looking to do is move the ball as quickly as possible to the right flank. And this is Liverpool's predominant strategy anyway. This half space here on the kind of right inside Mazzala channel, right here, is where 99% of our threat comes from. I know Luis Diaz might pull something off on the left-hand side. Curtis Jones isn't really a progressive player. Gravenberch might break the lines and do something in this sort of area here. But this particular area is key, absolutely key for Liverpool in this match. Why? Because Rashford, who looks like he's going to play, doesn't track back. At least he doesn't track back with purpose or with intention. Now, if we can catch him, because they're on the attack here, Rashford's looking to go in and around this area to get any scuffled balls and shoot and get a goal, right? Who is going to be left back? Well, Luke Shaw. It's going to be Luke Shaw predominantly covering our markers, covering our areas here. Now, Luke Shaw traditionally doesn't have a great matchup against Salah. Salah usually wins that matchup quite well. Shaw predominantly, he's good at, you know, various phases of the play as a left back. He's not massively offensive. He's pretty decent defensively as well. He can slot in the left side of centre back role. But when you have Szoboszlai with the ability to go around the outside, because he did that for Leipzig a lot, And Salah, who likes to cut inside and roam in and around this offensive half space here, playmaking from this area. He doesn't always drive with purpose. And then Trent floating around the right mid kind of area here. As soon as we can turn Wan-Bissaka, trap him and turn over the ball's got to go out, whichever one's free. You might even play it back to Alisson. So it's either Alisson or Van Dijk. One of the two will ping the ball over, and straight away you've got an overlap. And this is where Gakpo, this is why I really like Gakpo in this position, not just to break the lines and do his midfield role, is because we always attack the half space on the right hand side and whipping the ball from the right hand side. That is our predominant threat, which will allow Gakpo in and around the area, Nunez to cause havoc. Gakpo can even go around back post, or if Diaz, can sprint into position, Diaz in back post, and anything in around here. These three players here will become unstoppable. Salah, Szoboszlai, and Trent. You're looking at all of these options, all of these balls, with an overload on the left hand side. So you break, you cut them down on the left hand side, transition it to right hand side, which is the quickest, fastest switch of play because they won't be prepared for this. Most likely, Rashford, even if Rashford is in position, he's not going to offer the most defensively. Shaw is predominantly outnumbered, and these three, I think this right-sided quadrant right here is the strongest right-sided attack in world football. Salah, Szoboszlai, Trent, my goodness. You have the trickery, the playmaking ability, even the offensive integrity and capability of Salah. You always know he's going to do something because he can go on the outside as well. Szoboszlai, wow, what a player as well, bursting on the right hand side because he's not just the number 8, he's that physical beast who can shoot off both feet, he can cross, he's got a wicked cross as well, he can dribble, he's got a jink on the inside, cut on the inside. Obviously he won a penalty in this area as well, he's a bit of a cheeky chappy. And Trent's delivery, but not only that, they can interchange. So you imagine that Szoboszlai is in a bit of a deeper position and Salah goes on the outside. Trent likes to go in these offensive half positions as well. That is threatening as well because then you have two potential shooters from outside the box in Trent and Szoboszlai, and Salah being an absolute nuisance and pest because nobody wants to be isolated with Salah one-on-one in that area or in that area. So there's so many attacking possibilities here, but in all likelihood we're going to revert to this more often than not because that's what Liverpool do. That's just what Liverpool do. And with this duo here attacking the back post and attacking in and around penalty area, that is where we're going to see a lot of joy. I really expect to see this transition more often than not in the game, and this is going to be facilitated by the fact that we will trap Wan-Bissaka, give him the ball, force him in, because I don't think Antony and Wan-Bissaka as a pairing will break this line here. Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Endo. Now this looks like kind of chess formation here, right? You're blocking them in front. You might even have a pawn in front. You don't want the good old take behind. But I digress. This isn't a chess match. It is actually a chess match. Klopp will outsmart Van. I was going to say Klopp will outsmart Van der Beek, but no, it was outsmart Ten Hag. Anyone will outsmart Van der Beek. Anyway, yes. Now, how does Man United stop this kind of formation, this tactic here? You have two defensive midfielders. You have Scott McTominay and Sofiane Amrabat, but they're not the most pacey and they don't get about them. And actually, McTominay isn't rated by Man United as that all-encompassing destroyer a la Casemiro or Amrabat. And Amrabat is still finding his feet. He won't know who to cover. Do you cover the one on the inside, in which case you got Trent free because you really think Rashford will track back and track Trent all the way? Let's put his name in there, show him some respect. And I do not think any of their midfielders are well set up to stop a progressive run from Szoboszlai or stop him bursting into the box because he has physicality and power and he'll probably burst past either one of them. Additionally, even beyond that, it's not just these three. With the pace of Nunez, who in their back line or even in their midfield is realistically going to keep up with Nunez on the run? They can't play a high line because Nunez is too much of a threat. And if they do not play a high line, we're going to be swinging balls in for Gakpo and Nunez all day. So that is what I'm going to look for predominantly from this Liverpool team, what they're going to do. And even though Ten Hag will probably know it and be prepared for it, the fact that we've got Van Dijk and Alisson and even Endo who can break the lines with a pass to get it to the right hand side, we have the perfect facilitators for this tactic. But let's go with a different approach. Now if it is Curtis Jones instead of Gakpo, then it's going to be a slightly different setup. We won't look to overload the back post as much. Obviously, we still do that. Luis Diaz sliding in the back post. Good memories of that. He's very good at that. He scored against Chelsea that way as well. What we'll probably do in this scenario is we'll go to kind of box. So Trent will try to get in this position alongside Endo. Konate will cover the right space in lieu of Trent. Tsimikas will have this kind of space here. Van Dijk will cover more of that side. We'll go to this kind of box formation. And what you're now looking to do is basically to look to slide Nunez in. So when we get the ball, Trent is our key player in this formation. We're wanting to play Trent as often as possible. Legendo can obviously do that line breaking ball to Szoboszlai, and he'll couldn't one in, as we've seen already. In this scenario, we're looking to get Trent and Szoboszlai to cause havoc in amongst their midfield. They'll be in both sided number 10 positions, roaming around. We will be playing the ball around between Trent, Konate, Tsimikas, Van Dijk. We've got nice little triangles here. They'll never be able to get the ball. They're just chasing around Hojlund. Ramus Hojlund running around, burn him out. Rashford won't do too much tracking back. I say that again and again, but it's just proven Rashford really isn't the best at tracking back. His offensive threat is out of this world, but defensively, he's not the greatest. He's an extra body in that regard. We may even push Tsimikas and do the inverted Christmas tree triangle as well, because then we have options on all sides, trying to find a slot to be able to progress the ball into Jones or into Szoboszlai. And the reasoning is because this really pulls their midfield apart. Now, if Szoboszlai keeps roaming around and Curtis Jones roams around, Trent is in this position, Endo covering him, something like this, then we'll look to slide Nunez in. We'll look to slide Nunez in or you know, out wide to either of the flanks. If any player is isolated 1v1, so you're talking about Shaw against Salah or BISSAKA against Luis Diaz, it's probably a win on our side because it stretches them, and we really trust Luis Diaz and Salah not to lose the balls in the 1v1s. But they've always got the threat of sliding in Nunez from this central position here, or even Van Dijk or Konate clipping the ball over the top for Nunez. So starting from a deeper position like this, they got to cover the whips. We look to hit the ball over the top for Nunez to run onto as well. It just becomes very unbearing for them because Nunez will be running all day, and this formation basically bypasses the middle of the pitch. You're ignoring the complete middle of the pitch. There's a massive hole here, big ass hole there, and then we're looking to break with Nunez, Diaz, Salah, and then support them with the 210s floating around. Anything that bobbles in and out, you just pin them in. You absolutely pin them in this formation. Endo can be a third shooter. Trent can whip out from out wide. Tsimikas can whip it from out wide. No one is outpacing Van Dijk and Konate, and they're very good at covering the channels, physicality, muscling anything away, heading things away. That's why I'm really confident in this particular fixture, because Ramus Hojlund is a willing runner, but he's not faster than Van Dijk or Konate. He's not going to outmuscle them. He's not better than the air than them. It's a very tough task for them, and I'm going to show you what Manchester United will be looking to do very soon. But overall, it's set up to really pin them into their own half, and if they play deep, we're going to try to play pinball in and around the area, and you hope that something breaks for us. If a 50-50 breaks for us and we can knock it in, it doesn't matter how scruffy, I think the floodgates will open because they have to score a goal. Will they shut up shop and hope for 1-0, 2-0 defeat? I don't know. Man United always got to go for the win. I don't know how tactically naive they will be, but really, can you imagine them shutting us out for the whole 90 minutes, 90 plus injury time? And there's a lot of extended injury time in both halves this year, so it's going to be very difficult for them. And this formation here, if you play Curtis Jones into today instead of a Cody Gakpo, we're looking for possession based press that pushes them into their own half. We ignore the midfield. When we've got the ball, they're going to find it very hard to take it off us, because we'll have the kind of box formation here, as I mentioned, which gives a lot of outs with the triangles. All the triangles, you're looking at this, and this as well, right? So it's very hard for them to work their way out. We ignore this area here, and then we've got a 4 and a 1. Anyone can drop into position. Anyone can form the additional triangle if they want to as well. We can start to form the overlaps if we want to as well. There's so many options in this, and you kind of bypass the midfield. You look for your outs supported by your wingers as well. Hope that I meant to grab Trent. And then the game is really spread out and open. And this is why players like Nat Phillips or Ozan Kabak, so Tilios Kyriakos, for example, no, they can't play this system, because you need pace, you need physicality, you need tactical awareness, and you need ball retention skills. And Van Dijk and Konate, even Gomez, really allow for that, as does Matip. They're very safe in possession. They're great passers as well. They've got a lot of pace. Our defenders, it's not just our midfield, our defenders are multifaceted, and there's so many options here. I'm aware that there are a lot of scribbles here, but you kind of get the idea, right? If we play this position, we're trying to slide Nunez in or isolate Diaz and Szoboszlai 1v1, and it just gives us every option as well. Nunez is predominantly the threat, because I don't think they've got any runners to keep up with him, but Trent and Tsimikas can swing in the ball, and we're just looking to pen them in, absolutely pen them in. I hope this has been insightful so far of what we can expect in the match coming up tomorrow, Liverpool against Manchester United at Anfield. But I'm getting kind of hungry and a little bit hot as well, a little bit peckish. And if you are enjoying this video, make sure to smash that like. It really helps this video get seen. The channel is growing. Thank you so much for your support. I love the comments, by the way. I reply every single comment personally. Really enjoyed it. Makes my day, makes me smile, especially those that say you deserve, 10,000 subs or, to be much bigger or whatever. We're getting there thanks to your support. It's all thanks to you. Partly me as well, but thanks to you mainly. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Lots of tactical insight coming up, loads of content coming up. Thank you so much once again. Time for lunch. Mates, when you're peckish in Miyazaki, Japan, none of this Tesco meal deal, BLT, drink. You grab yourself a Mia Ben bento. This thing right here costs £2.80. Chicken crispy miso tare. Oh my god. And healthy too. Fresh nanban tartar sauce, holenso, pickled ginger, diced egg, rice. Testo meal deal. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, got a video to make. And let's look at Manchester United and what they're likely to do. So there's a world with Marcus Rashford and there's a world without Rashford, probably Garnacho in place. They do fairly similar things, but I think Garnacho's better at tracking back, more willing to track back, and Rashford's probably a bigger attacking threat, especially on that counter-attack. He's very quick, he's got a very good shot as well. He has scored a few against us, a few vital ones, but we'll get to that point as well. In the last formation, by the way, you can interchange Curtis Jones and Gravenberch. Are likely to do the same thing, same kind of style, except Gravenberch will probably be more aggressive, trying to break the lines. Curtis Jones is roaming a bit more and looking to hold the ball up, probably a safer pair of legs in the opposition half as well. Gravenberch is very offensively minded and he'll go forward. He's not the best in the double pivot or the sixth position, so he won't look to join that kind of back line as much or pick up the ball in that kind of area, but you would expect him to be able to beat the press quite easily. McTominay, Mainu, Amrabat. Mainu's probably the most enthusiastic of that lot, and it may not be Mainu. We'll see. It's yet to be determined what they'll actually do. Who knows? Will Van der Beek even play? I don't know what other options they got in midfield. Casemiro is injured. Eriksen may not make it as well. Mason Mount may be back in time. It's yet to be seen. But in this particular formation, McTominay is the one who likes to break forward and in and around the box. Amrabat will stay back, try to dictate play. So you could very much kind of see something like this. And the main goal of Manchester United, as always, is to look at their main man Rashford, get him in and around the offensive position. He's looking to cut in and shoot across goal. Hojlund will run the channels. He'll be a tireless worker, or they may try to drive it in and have Hojlund steal something in. He may have a yard of pace, an initial burst. I think the only way he's going to outburst Konate or Van Dijk is on that first initial sprint on their first delivery. So delivery's got to be good. Anthony likes to receive the ball out wide. He's actually quite hard working. He hasn't got the end product, the end threat, but he does work hard. So as I mentioned, Liverpool will probably let WAN-BISSAKA transition and progress with the ball. Shaw doesn't progress too adventurously these days, but I think they're looking to be solid and compact. Okay, you're going to see something like this for them to try to close up shop, and it's going to be a thankless job for Hojlund to run and try to be the out for them, but needs must. You got to do what you got to do for the team, especially at Anfield. As Gary Neville said, you've got to look to try and get through the first 5, 10, 15 minutes without conceding a goal or without being totally overrun. And here's the biggest problem for Manchester United. This midfield trio here, or any midfield trio that they choose, except from the fact that I guess if Mason Mount does make an appearance, they don't really have an out to get the ball to Rashford, to get the ball to Anthony, to get the ball to Hojlund. Who is the best ball playmaker out of this lot? You're probably looking at Amrabat, to be honest. Amrabat can play the ball, but will he get the time? I'm sure we will press him. We'll press him high with either Szoboszlai or whoever's the left-sided 8. They could be sitting on Amrabat because Mainu's an athlete. He's got composure. He'll probably play the ball around, probably be a metronome. But McTominay is more of a safer play. He doesn't really play the game-breaking, the line-breaking passes. So who is actually going to do that in this team? It could even be Varane. Varane could step into the midfield defensive area and try to break the lines. He has a bit of pace around him. I don't think Shaw will be too adventurous in this game, obviously knowing Mo Salah's threat. WAN-BISSAKA always goes up and down the field, but he, once again, is quite limited in his offensive capability. So you're really looking at Rashford and Anthony to kind of play make. Now, it could be, for example, that they shut up shop. They look to really close the middle of the play and say, okay guys, it's going to be a wide game, okay? We are going to completely stuff the midfield, and from here, we're going to play wide. We're going to look to play 2 against 2, Anthony and Rashford and Shaw, and we'll just have a back option, an out option. Okay, something like this, and we're back dropping into the midfield as well. Once again, Hojlund has the thankless task of not only covering the channels, but he's got to drop deep to be the man in the middle to give the outs. It could be that Hojlund plays in and around this area most of the game, which means that Rashford and Antony can transition there, and they'll probably be looking to hit the diagonals. It could be, for example, that if they get the ball, they're going to play keep ball, and they can try and bring Liverpool out, draw us out of the play. They're probably going to ignore the middle of the pitch once again. It seems to be the common theme of the game nowadays. The roaming number 10, your one-man Rakelmes, your Kakas, all these kind of central attacking midfielders, playmakers in the middle. You have to be a special talent to really thrive in that area. You don't see so many of them these days, and for example, that's why Fabio Carvalho finds it hard to get into Liverpool squad, because we don't really play with a traditional number 10 as well. And similarly, Christian Eriksen has to operate from deeper these days. There's no traditional number 10. Van der Beek can't fit a position either, and it could be that, you know, we ignore the middle. We just try to play out wide and hope that Rashford can beat the man 1v1. Rashford against Trent will be their predominant attacking friend, but Trent is actually pretty good at siphoning and guiding Rashford or any player out into the areas of least damage. Maybe he can take a shot, maybe he can cross, but it'll be an area where it's particularly difficult, and they're hoping those 20-30% ball chances actually get converted. There might be a wonder ball by Rashford or by Antony, for example. It could be that they might be looking to drive on the diagonal, so Shaw driving in, Wan-Bissaka driving in, Antony driving in to win a foul, because who knows, a free kick and knuckle ball could pop anywhere. You might get a poacher, Hojlund, poaching and getting something in there. But the main thing is that midfield just does not have the penetration, the offensive capability. They may be defensively solid, they may be working hard, but there's no real creative out there. So if they're not going for the whips, which I think they will be, because Antony and Rashford cutting in predominantly, Wan-Bissaka overlapping your standard 4-3-3 type play these days, perhaps they try an offensive box, okay? So defensively solid. They've always got to be defensively solid. Crowd out Nunez's space, which forces Nunez to run out wide, and try to play in and around the kind of half spaces, offensive half spaces, and see what happens. See if they can make any of the magic happen here. I think it will be a particularly difficult game for them to really build up loads of passages of possession or offensive play or really make things work. They might be looking for free kicks. They might be looking to isolate Rashford against Trent, or even allow us to push forward, hope that they're tight enough, hope that their block is effective enough, because if they get the block straight away, they're hitting the long ball in and behind Trent, looking for that traditional space that we always have, because Trent kind of roams in and around the half defensive space, looking to get on the ball and play make. So if they can hit that ball, that's probably their main joy again. And once again, he'll be up against Konate or whoever. He might be looking to isolate Konate or in and behind Trent and hit an early ball. Let's see what Hojlund can do against Van Dijk, or Hojlund running in behind Konate. That could be a ploy as well. So for example, we have Konate here. You might have Rashford playing the ball in and behind Hojlund, going into the middle, try to overload the back post, get the ball back to Shaw, and Shaw early ball into the back post, and let's see what happens. Antony, Rashford, Wan-Bissaka, some midfielders backing them up. They could be going from the left hand side, left to right, but I think Rashford is their biggest out, because I don't think Antony traditionally plays quick balls into the box. His delivery isn't the best as well. He's a great dribbler, but he doesn't actually have too much end product. So it could be that kind of play that Manchester United are looking to do. Who else could come off the bench? Garnacho does something similar to Rashford as well. Very hot and cold, still youngster, loads of potential there. Reguilon is probably more offensive than Shaw, less defensive minded, so they could replace Shaw with Reguilon. Shaw might not even be match fit because he's just coming off the injury as well. Rashford may not play because he's coming off illness as well, so Facundo Pellistri, I think he's got like 1 assist or something this season. He could interchange with one of the three in midfield as well, but they just don't have a huge amount of options. I think they've got to keep it compact, keep it tight, move the ball around, look to hit Rashford, get isolated one-on-one with the fullback, and try to hit early balls in and cross goals, maybe hope for a bit of luck or ricochets. It's very hard to see where they can really make an impact, because Liverpool just look really solid, and we've been quite lucky with injuries and illnesses thus far to date, which means that we have the full repertoire of things from the bench as well. Even from the bench, suspensions, injuries, I think they would have had a lot more options if Bruno Fernandes was not injured. I could do a hypothetical of what they would do with Bruno Fernandes, but probably unnecessary for this matchup, because no need for hypotheticals, he's out, suspended. And as a final note, Ometeto Urawa Red Diamonds knocked out Lyon. They're in the semi-finals of the Club World Championships, where they will go on to knock out Manchester City. Who are their star players? They don't really have none, except from Hiroki Sakai. You might remember Sakai from Marseille, right? He's a really, really good fullback. I really like Sakai. He can play on both sides. He was really, really good for the national team as well. You play him in FIFA, you play him in Pro Evolution Soccer, even Football Manager. He's very, very versatile and useful. I like Sakai. Anyway, congratulations. Best of luck. Gambare Minasan against Manchester City. Before that, Liverpool, you've got to do the job. Get the 3 points no matter what. No matter all the tactical insights, the variations, the transitions. We just need 3 points. It's going to be a capacity crowd at Anfield. Can't wait. Booming end to end. We got to scream our lungs out from the beginning till the end. Trent, no matter where you play, when you're whipping the ball, it's a goal all day. Assist for Trent. 4-0 victory. I'm still banking on it. Even 1-0, I'll take it. Until then, make sure you like the video. Once again, smashing like, really appreciate it. Really helps the video out. Thank you for supporting me as always. Enjoy the game, lads. Enjoy the game. First and foremost, Saturday's round of fixtures, fantasy football. If you haven't already, join the league. I'm going to put my code in the comments below for anyone who plays FPL. Also, join the Discord. I love chatting with Rob, San, with Diogo, Jose as well. Guys, join in with the chat. I know I love making videos. If you want to talk in between the games as well, join me on Discord. Until next time, cheers, guys. Jane, Miyazaki-man, Ichiban.